Hi, I'm Dr. David Baker Hargrove.
And I'm Robert Baker Hargrove.
And we're at the top of your inbox. This is the place where we bring together all of our years of lessons learned from all the businesses that we have owned and operated both separately and together.
And our goal is that we can give you just a little bit of a business bite that you can take back to your business to help your business grow and your leaders develop. So, Dr. Dave, what's at the top of your inbox today?
Well, today I thought that we would conquer a very important topic of mental health in the workplace.
Yes. And speaking of mental health in the workplace, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Is that correct?
That is true. And one of the very big hot topics right now that are important for businesses and business leaders is the issue of mental health in the workplace.
Absolutely. And when we talk about mental health in the workplace, you have to think that the majority of people spend 8 to 10 hours a day in the work environment, in a space that they're working in. And so that's a huge amount of time. So if they're not at home, then they're probably at work. So how does that impact them?
Well, a great deal, because the American Psychological Association had produced a report on a work survey that they did, citing that 39% of the American workers that they surveyed cited that they had a significant mental health condition that was directly related to their job.
39% is a very large percentage, particularly when you think out of 100%, what are they doing with the other 61%? What do they feel? And that means, are they having some sort of a stress, anxiety, or impact outside of the workplace, which is a personal area? So if you think they're having maybe a personal issue or challenge, and then you add on maybe 39% have a personal issue or challenge that's in the workplace, it could be a double impact.
Well, and rightly so. So the survey did not indicate what the other 61% was about, whether they were completely healthy, whether there was a certain percentage of people that had reported mental health conditions that had nothing to do with work. So there's some statistical confounds that could be existed in that survey. Because, as you well know, that if you have outside stressors such as family stuff going on, or anything of that nature that has nothing to do with work, you're still going to bring that to work, and it's still going to affect productivity and everything that's going to go on, and that's going to affect the culture at work. But this was just focused on work affecting people, which is very significant.
So let's talk about that, the work environment. The work environment is probably one of the biggest keys. So when you think about the workspace and the work environment, one of the major things that you can do is, if your company offers benefits, have conversations about those benefits. If you don't offer benefits, make sure you have a list of community resources that you can share with your staff to make sure that they have access to those resources that you may not. But let's talk about, let's say your company does offer benefits. Having conversations about what you offer, how they can access them, is extremely important, because when you need benefits, it's often difficult to find them. So one great key, if you have an employee assistance program, make sure they go ahead and program that phone number into their cell phone if they have one, or make sure that they have access to it, so when they need it, they're not looking for it, because that's when it's very difficult to get the information you need, is when you really need it at that moment in time. The other great thing is, make sure you're having those conversations. I love opening up my one-on-one conversations or conversations with how are you doing? And what that does is it gives me a bridge to build with that employee, to really listen to what's going on and build that personal connection before we get into business, which is, we're going to get there. We're going to deal with what we need to deal with, but making sure it's a touchstone for them to have with me. So what else is there anything you want to say about benefits?
Well, absolutely. I think some of the main concern for leaders, wherever you are in the organization and the leadership chain, or if you work in HR, you may be thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, well, do I need to be a mental health professional? Do I need to know a lot about mental health? Do I need to diagnose people? No, none of that.
Absolutely not.
You absolutely don't want to be doing that. The message that we have for you today, and hopefully good news, is that little things you can do can actually make big impact in helping to really stave off the crisis that we're experiencing now in the American workforce. And like Robert was saying, is being able to talk to the staff that you are that report to you or that you are in charge of, being able to talk to them about benefits, and not just once, but on a continual basis,
And having,
throughout the year.
those reminders are extremely important to do.
Absolutely, because the biggest problem is that out of sight, out of mind, and especially when people are struggling, if they don't know that they have benefits, then they're not going to use them. And so then accordingly, the next thing that really becomes important along with that is really understanding the benefit package that your organization provides. So you have to understand it so that you can be able to explain it appropriately.
Yes, and one of the things that we've done is we take maybe a 30-minute meeting or 45 minutes to teach our senior leaders how to have those conversations, making sure they have all the basic information to communicate, but making sure that they can communicate that information in their own words.
One other point that is very important to remember, that where you can make a big impact, is being able to advocate for the appropriate benefits for the people in your company. Remember, benefit packages are purchased by the company themselves and what is included in them. So you can find out from the people that you influence and the people you lead, what are the benefits that your employees need. And then you can advocate for those appropriate benefits. And you may think, oh, well, I don't have a lot of power, but you know what? You keep voicing the concerns, and you never know what kind of impact that you can make. And it's really important to be able to perform that advocacy within your organization.
And here's something that I'm kind of putting together that ties to something you mentioned to me earlier, is I talk about having conversations about the benefits. I talk about how are you doing in my one-on-one conversations and with my leadership? You just talked about people having the power of being able to say, hey, this is what we feel like we want. And to me, it sounds like, which ties what you said, psychological safety.
Yeah, creating an environment of psychological safety is extremely important. And, we could actually do a whole video on that, but I just want to hit on some very important points here. Is really just thinking about what kind of environment that you're creating around you. Is the environment hostile, or is it a place where people feel warm and welcoming?
Yes.
And there's so much more that I could talk about that. And I think we'll probably do another video on that, because there's so much to be able to talk about. But the one last point I want to make on things that you can do. If you are a smaller organization, less than 50 employees, and you cannot afford traditional benefit packages, you are not lost. Those partnerships for you. All you have to do is ask.
Just reach out to us.
And with so many of the things that we've talked about today, if you are not sure how you can create more impact for yourself, for your company, and for your employees, we are absolutely the organization that can help you, because we have done it before many times, and we will do it for you.
So if you would like to reach out to us, you can reach out to me at robertbakerhargrove.com
or davidbaker-hargrove.com
or at bhcassessment.com.
So until next time,
We're at the top of your inbox.